Upfront Books presents Egyptian Mythology, a guide to the gods, goddesses, and traditions of ancient Egypt, written by Geraldine Pinch and narrated by T.J. Johnson. Chronology. Most of the dates for the kingdoms and periods into which Egyptian history is traditionally divided are only approximate. This chronology mainly follows that given in the British Museum Dictionary of Ancient Egypt. Abbreviations used are as follows. BCE means before Common Era, also known as BC, and CE means Common Era, also known as AD. Predynastic period, circa 5500 to 3200 BCE. Proto-dynastic period, circa 3200 to 3100 BCE, including Dynasty 0. Early dynastic period, circa 3100 to 2686 BCE, including Dynasties 1 and 2. Old Kingdom, circa 2686 to 2181 BCE, including Dynasties 3 through 6. First Intermediate period, circa 2181 to 2055 BCE, including Dynasties 7 through 11. Middle Kingdom, circa 2055 to 1650 BCE, including Dynasties 11 through 13. Second Intermediate period, circa 1650 to 1550 BCE, including Dynasties 14 through 17. New Kingdom, circa 1550 to 1069 BCE, including Dynasties 18 through 20. Third Intermediate period, circa 1069 to 747 BCE, including Dynasties 21 through 24. Late period, circa 747 to 332 BCE, including Dynasties 25 through 30 and 3 Persian kings. Greco-Roman period, 332 BCE to 395 CE, including the Macedonian dynasty from 332 to 310 BCE, the Ptolemaic dynasty from 305 to 30 BCE, and Roman rule from 30 BCE to 395 CE. Chapter 1. Introduction. What is a myth? If asked this question, most people would reply that a myth is a story that is not true, even though you might want it to be. Scholarly arguments about the definition of a myth have been going on for more than 2,000 years. Many definitions have been proposed. Among the most common are that myths are stories about gods, myths are sacred stories, myths are stories that explain the way the world is, or myths are simply traditional stories that hand on collective knowledge or experience. Writers from various disciplines and intellectual movements have interpreted myth in different ways. Myths have been seen as a disease of language, as garbled memories of historical events, as a mode of pre-logical thought, as expressions of the subconscious mind, as symbolic descriptions of the natural world or symbolic statements about the social order, and as the spoken part of ritual. As theories to explain the whole of world mythology, these interpretations all have flaws, but each of them is applicable to some Egyptian myths. In his book on the meaning and functions of myth, G.S. Kirk proposed 3 main categories of myths. His first category is myths told for entertainment. This is a reminder that myths may be sacred, but they are not necessarily solemn. The validity of this category might be challenged, but some cultures do seem to have told one version of a myth for entertainment, while another, more secret version was used in rituals. Kirk's second category includes operative, iterative, or validatory myths. These are stories about things that may not have really happened, but the stories themselves are thought to have power to transform the real world. Such myths tend to be repeated regularly on ritual or ceremonial occasions to bring about a desirable continuity in nature or society. Myths that are used to justify and maintain a particular institution or state of affairs are sometimes known as charter myths. In Kirk's third category are explanatory or speculative myths. These may be simple etiological myths that explain the origin of an object, custom, or natural feature, or they may be complex myths that try to answer the questions that have always troubled humanity, such as why people die. Some myths seem to acknowledge that these questions may be unanswerable, but provide strategies for coping with the sorrows and contradictions of human life. Examples of all these different categories of myths can be found within Egyptian mythology. In order to explore this mythology, we must first look at the geography and history of ancient Egypt. Myth and geography. Egypt is a large country in the northeast corner.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?